Hi gang, and welcome to another episode of Mr. Ed Draws, and in this episode I'm actually going to be drawing. If you follow my channel at all, you know that over the last few months I've been learning how to program in P5.js. And when I first started learning, I was about 4 to 6 weeks into it, and I created an application that would let me paint on the screen using algorithms and adjusting the colors. And I liked that program, but it wasn't built in the way that I wanted it to be built. What I wanted it to do was be able to, in the future, make an algorithm, plug that module into this application, and then be able to adjust the variables in that block of code so that I could produce different types of output without having to hard code the variable changes. So I created a handful, 4 different, I call them brushes, but they're algorithms that produce a shape on the screen. And then there's 3 different types of ways that it can move around the screen. 2 of those are automatic, and 1 of them is with the mouse. So I can use the mouse to draw on the screen, or I can let the computer move it around in sort of a random way. You can create all kinds of textures and abstract patterns. And if you use the mouse, you can actually be deliberate, and you can draw these kind of mosaic, impressionist style paintings, which is what you'll see here at the end of the video, actually do a landscape. This is the first time that this program has run, so what you're looking at right now is me just testing out the different features. I don't know how to use this application. I made it, but that doesn't mean I know how to use it. I basically just assembled a whole bunch of tools, and now I got to learn how to use those tools in concert to produce whatever output it can produce, whether desired or accidental. So right now I'm just testing the different parts. I'm not really trying to draw anything. The program it's doing what I'm telling it to do, which is basically nothing. If you're very deliberate and you select things and set things up just right, like I'm doing here, you can get some really cool results. The brushes can all be activated at the same time. So you can see here there's every brush is going on its own, doing its own thing. There are 3 different movements I mentioned before. The 2 automatic movements, one of them uses Perlin noise. You can search that on Wikipedia if you want. And then the other one uses linear interpolation, and you can look that up on Wikipedia. But they're basically just fancy ways of moving randomly around the screen without making it look robotic. It looks very organic. I'm going to add another mover to it called a leve flight, and that's more of a random herky-jerky kind of robotic-y movement, because I thought, just variety would be nice to have. I decided just to try things out, I would do a landscape of the foothills on the other side of the valley. It's Grizzly Peak. This kind of based on it a little bit. The scale gets lost, and it looks more like close, kind of a rolling meadow, but it's actually supposed to be distant mountains. And I could achieve that distant look by just fading. There's a background selector, and then there's a clear button, and you can adjust the transparency on the background and hit clear, and it will just fade that out just a little bit, make it look like there's some atmosphere, and then you can draw over that layer and it produces that depth. So there is a lot of technique that you could use and tools that let you apply those techniques with this application. I have lots of previous videos that are really kind of a build-up to this application here, and a build-up to what I'm doing right now. In a previous video, I took a photograph and changed the pixels to this abstract kind of brush pixel, which is actually the shard brush in this application, and that's the brush that I'm using right now. It's a really simple algorithm. It generates a cluster of lines, it connects those lines, and then it fills in the spaces where it can with a fill color. So you can have one color on the outline, another color on the inside, and you can adjust the transparency so where those shapes overlap, it creates another hue of that color. So you can get a huge variety of the same family of colors out of this brush. And since I have some experience with watching it take an actual photograph and make an abstract picture out of it, I decided I would stick to this brush and try to do the landscape here. I have a lot more work to do with this application. It's just the bare bones right now, but it's functional enough to where you can still do a lot with it. I still have to add random color, so I want to have a color changing algorithm that will change the colors automatically, so I don't have to go up there into the RGB map and click around and change things, because that seems to take up a lot of time. And by locking the color sliders, I can use the random color changer and stay within a family of colors. So there's a lot of customizability, is that a word? Customization, I think that's the word, to this program. Also, I want to add a way to make custom backgrounds, different gradients, because the sky here, I could have created an algorithm that would have generated a background with clouds already, and then I could do the landscape on top of it. So that would be really handy to have. So there you go, there's the final work, the first picture ever made with this algorithm, and I hope to have this available open source within the next year. It really is a lot of work. So far it's like 3 months worth of work on this application, but it's going faster. And if you enjoy the work that I do here, I wish you would subscribe, hit a like, leave a comment, and as always, until next time, take care.